Alright, Series 8, General Electric Handbook, General Electric. Operation Introduction. All of the operating devices manually, visually, normally used for the engineering during locomotive operation are located near the operator's position on the control console or the engine control panel. Master control. The master control is used by the operator to control locomotives during operation. It is equipped with a throttle handle, dynamic brake handle, and reverse handle. Various toggle switches, circuit breakers, indicating light instruments are mounted adjacent with the control housing are also used in operating functions. Reverse handle. The reverse handle on the bottom of three handles determines the direction of locomotive travel. It has the position reserve off and forward. The handle is removable from when the throttle handle is in idle position or the brake handle is in off. The throttle handle is above the reverse handle. Is shut. It has a shutdown, idle, and eight major position or notches for full power. Shutdown position is located to the right of the idle. It's used emergency to shut down all power on the multiple unit consisting of operation position of the control unit. Pull out auxiliary axially on throttle handle to put in shutdown. This action shuts down the diesel engine. To increase the motor monitoring power, the handle is moved toward the operator. The battery brake handle, dynamic braking. The brake handle is above the throttle handle and has an off and a setup position and a braking sector. If the off position nearest the operative dynamic braking and shut off the setup position establishes dynamic braking circuits, movement beyond the brakes position braking sector or away from the operator, increasing the brake effort. Interlocking between handles. Interlocking between the handles and master control is provided as follows. 1. The reverse handle must be inserted before the throttle handle can be moved out of idle position for the power and emergency shutdown. 2. The reverse handle can be moved forward or reverse only with the throttle handle in idle position or brake handle in the off position, and the brake handle in the off position. 3. The reverse handle cannot be moved out of forward or reverse position when either the throttle handle or is advanced by the idle or braking handle advanced beyond the off. Brake handle must be in the off position before the throttle handle can be moved into the idle position except for the emergency shutdown. Throttle handle must be in idle and reverse handle forward and reverse before braking handle can be moved. The reverse handle can be removed when the brake handle is off and the throttle handle is in idle. Operation. To manipulate the controller handles during the locomotive operation proceeds as follows. Lead or single unit operating handle set up, reverse handle removed. Braking of the top of the handle in off and throttle in the mid handle in idle. Caution. Feeding the brake handle away from the off or throttle handle away from the idle, which with the reverse handle removed, indicates the interlocking between the handles requires repairs and adjustment. Do not attempt to operate. 3. Insert the reverse bottom handle. Set the reverse handle to the desired location. Direction. Operation in power mode. Braking handle remains off. Move the throttle in the desired notch. Operation in dynamic braking mode. Throttle handle return to idle. Moving the brake handle to setup. Pausing the advance as desired. Operation as a trailing unit. Brake handle is off, throttle is in idle, and reverse handle centered or removed. For emergency multiple unit shutdown, in a control unit and pull out the axially throttle handle and beyond the idle to shut down. No, a trailer unit reverse handle must be inserted to release the throttle handle before it can be moved to shut down. Devices and control console. The air brake equipment. The Schedule 26L equipment range single station multiple unit operation principal parts are 26C brake valve. Valve consists of two separate pieces. The automatic brake valve, independent brake valve. Automatic valve is designed for regulating brake pipe pressure to control both the locomotive and the train brakes. The independent also controls the release of the locomotive brakes due to the automatic brake application without releasing the train brakes. Alright, automatic brake valve handle. The automatic brake valve handle has 6-position release or running position. The position charge of the equipment releases the locomotive training before brakes for after the automatic application. This is accomplished by the airflow of the brake pipe as set by the brake handle or set by the handle position with the regulating valve on the back of the brake stand. The release position is extremely left of the quadrant and normal position of the automatic brake is not in use. Minimum reduction position. The position is located to the right of the release position where the brake pipe handle reaches the first raised portion of the quadrant. The brake valve handle removed from this position. The minimum surface application is obtained, in which results of 4 to 6 pounds brake pipe reduction. Surface position. The sector of the brake panel movement is to the right of the minimum reduction position. Moving the handle from the left to right in this sector increases the degree of the brake application. An extreme right over the sector and a full surface brake application is obtained. Alright, this is your automatic brake valve positions. You have your regulating valve, the brake stand, release automatic handle, minimum reduction, service zone, full service, suppression, handle off, and emergency. This is suppression position. The position is located with the handle against the second raised position and the quadrant to right of the release. Position provides a full service brake application and will suppress the cab signal, speed recorder over speed, as well as the vigilant dead man feature. Handle off position. The position is located with the quadrant 9 to the right of the suppression position, and the handle is normally removable. In this position, it should be placed in the position removed of the trailing and removed on trailing units and multiple units consisting of locomotives being towed or dead end train. Emergency position. The position is located at the extreme right of the brake valve quadrant and is used to make the brake valve and initiated emergency brake application. When the emergency application has experienced, the automatic brake valve handle must be removed to the emergency position, left position until equalizing reservoir gauge indicates zero pressure. Sand light out. The automatic brake valve handle may be moved to release position to recharge the brake pipe and release the brakes. Independent brake valve handle. The handle applies release of the brake locomotive consisting of release of the brakes of the locomotive units alone after automatic and emergency application. And the brake valve has two positions, release and full application. With the application zone between the brake valve, the self-lapping type of the automatically maintains brake cylinder pressure and the reach of the corresponding handle position. The independent brake application can be released in the movement of the handle toward to the release position. The automatic service and emergency application can be released in the locomotive consisting of the pressing of the independent brake valve handle to the in the release position. Your brake valve cutout cock. The cock, also known as the double heading cock, is located with the front of the automatic brake valve head. Pushing in the handle will determine the position and the type of the service. The application is used in a locomotive operating as a trailing unit, multiple unit cutout cock. The valve is located with the brake and on the brake stand and enables locomotive to be equipped with a 26L brakes operating with the multiple locomotives having similar other types of brakes equipment turning the proper position. Air regulating valve, heat valve. The air regulating valve located in the control stand figure 1 automatically maintains predetermined air pressure for the train pipe, brake pipe, closed movement of the adjusting handle, increase the pressure settings, and the counterclockwise movement and pressure setting adjusting conform to the railroad rules. The horn valve, pulling toward you on the handle of the air horn will sound. Lead axle sand switch. Sand will be applied to the front axle only. Sand switch will be applied to lead axle of each truck, no matter which either direction you are going. Belt valve. Bell valve, the locomotive bell valve will sound when the pull towards you and push in to shut off. Air gauges. The following duplex air gauges are located with the gauge panel with the control console. On main reserve, equalizing reserve, red hand indicates the main reservoir pressure, white hand indicates the equalizing reservoir pressure. Brake cylinder and brake pipe, red-handed indicates locomotive brake cylinder pressure, white hand indicates brake pipe size pressure. Airflow indicator, white hand indicates amount of flow, red hand is set by the operator. When the flow is greater than the operator set, the red light button on the bottom of the indicator will come on. Alright, the meter reads highest current going through the traction motor. Monitoring is shown at 12 o'clock and has two bands. The green band is continuous rating with the motor. The red band is a short time rating. When the short time rating, observe the time limit of the meter. The dynamic braking is shown with the left at 12 o'clock and has two bands. Yellow band is continuously rating of the motors for the red band, with the overload with the meter goes with the red band, reducing the brake handle position. Indication lights, 6 indication lights are on the console from left to right to the top to bottom. Wheel slip indicates the wheels on the sum of the locomotive consisting is slipping with train line indication. This is a train line indication. Your PCS open indicates the air brake has gone into the emergency position. All power should be removed from the locomotive. Dynamic braking warning light. This indicates the locomotive expresses excessive dynamic braking current. Reducing the brake handle position if the light goes with the light with the opposite opinion may not appear to the locomotive. Alright, blank sand indicates that either the lead axle switch sand switches during a wheel slip sanding would automatically turn off. Alright, switches gauge light. Switch turns all lights on the operating console. The gauge light's dimmer knob is around the front of the console near the front of the window. Step light switch turns all four corners step lights. Generator field circuit breaker. The generator field circuit breaker is in and on whatever the locomotive is powered and operating as the lead unit. The breaker also may be used to keep the main generator de-energized with the necessary to run engine speeds higher than idle. Engine run. The engine run brake controls the engine speed. It must be on the on control engine speed and the lead locomotive. All the locomotives consist of the on trail locomotive. The breaker is in the all position. Our control breaker. The control breaker must be on. Starting an engine provided with the power circuits include the auxiliary multiple unit operation. The brakes must be on the on lead locomotive only. Dynamic braking control breaker. Dynamic braking control breaker is used to control the dynamic brake for the locomotive. The multiple unit operation of the brakes must be on the lead locomotive only to control the dynamic braking of all units that in the consist. Headlight switches, front headlight, rear headlight, call button. The button rings the call bell, and all the units consist of the following normal correlation between the throttle handle, brake handle, engine speed, RPMs. Throttle idle, engine 1, idle, 1, and throttle handle 1, engine notch 1, 445, 445, 453, and RPMs, and throttle number 2, engine notch number 2, 52, 21, 549, engine throttle 3, and engine notch 4, 704, 12, engine throttle handle 4, engine notch 5, 758, 788, and throttle handle number 5, engine notch 6, 87, 876, 884, engine throttle handle 6, and engine notch 6, 878, 876, 884, throttle handle 7, engine notch 7, 962, 980, and throttle handle 8, engine notch 8, 1400, 1049, 1 through 1057. When dynamic braking, the engine speed depends upon the braking grid current. The 0 to 449 traction motor amps are engine at idle, 450 to 574 traction motor amps, the engine at notch number 5, 575 to 2720 engine traction motor amps, engine notch number 8, regular 450 low, 385 low 270. Or your cutout cocks from the listing of the cutout cocks on the valve of the locomotive at their location. Actuating pipe, figure 716, 1824. Actuating pipe at the end of the count 16, 8, 1716, 8024. Brake pipe end connection 7 and 18. Brake pipe air rack 26. Control range reserve drain 20. Diesel engine 26. Fuel filter drain 40. Horn and bell 26. Lube oil drains 14. Main reserve end connection 716, 1824. Main reserve 24. 2 overspeed SAM wipers and safety control 26. Truck cutout 1923. Water drain 42. Water slide glass shut off 42. Alright, your engine control panel is located on the rear wall of the operator's cab. Figure 31 mounted with the panel are various circuit breakers, switches, display panel, and other operating devices used during locomotive operation. A description of each of these devices will follow. Circuit breaker for the engine control panel. The top of the row of the circuit breaker for the engine control panel are used for the optional equipment. The equipment can be turned off with the unit in the operating is trailer unit from the left to right with the circuit breaker for their function. If the locomotive does not have one of these circuit breakers, it is not equipped with the option 1 pace setter, 2 window heater, 3 overspeed, 4 locomotive loco troll, 5 cab signal, 6 alertness equipment, 7 warning light, 8 oscillating light, 9 radio, 10 water cooler, 11 front headlight, 12 rear headlight. Or your end stop push button. The button is the shutdown with the diesel engine of that unit only. The second row of the circuit breakers and the engine control panel is used with the both standards of optional equipment, of all which must be left with the units operating in the lead or in trailer unit with the left or the right circuit breakers are a function. The locomotive does not have one of these circuit breakers, is not equipped with the option 1 auto water drain, 2 toilet tanker heater, 3 blank, 4 blank, 5 running lights, 6 compressor clutch. I mean, some locomotives do not have a clutch. Fuel pump 7, 8 local control, 9 battery charging computer. Alright, diagnostic display panel, or the DID. Diagnostic display panel performs several different functions of the locomotive. The first function of the panel is telling operator crews about the status of the locomotive. The function is divided into 2 forms. A, the fault of the occurred with the unit, and the crew should take some action. B, an information status message that will tell the crew why the unit is not at full power. Second function of this panel is to inform the maintenance personnel what conditions has occurred on the unit, and test B, the test correct these conditions. Success function requires a password entry. On the top of the diagnostic display panel, in two-line messages, the top line is usually the fault number, then the status and the fault type message. The bottom line is usually display 1 of 5 respond words. The words are the input what the computer needs. If you know that what should exist, the words input with the conjunction with the F1 to F5 through F5 keys. Located directly below each of the word by pressing corresponding to the F function. The key of the word will be entered by the computer. The response word with the position display will vary for each of the new messages. Alright, your shift key. The function of the shift key is to allow the unit to insert the small letter symbol that is on each key by pressing shift key with the next key with the press is enter with the small letter symbol on each of the key. The shift key is only good for one input at a time. The enter second small letter symbol you must press the shift key again to letter symbol. Example: if you wish to input letters A and B, you would press the sequence shift key number 1 key, shift key number 2 key. Alright, bright dim key. To dim display, simply press the bright dim key and hold. The longer the press of the bright dim key, the dimmer the display will get until it is almost out. To increase the brightness of the display, first press the shift key, then bright dim key. And the longer you press the bright dim key, the brighter the display will get. Hint: when you are increasing the brightness, you stop, and the next time you touch the bright dim key, the display will go dimmer unless you first touch the shift keys. Alright, number letter key. To enter the number keys 1 through 0, just press to enter the letter A through F, press the symbols period, plus, minus, and asterisk. First press the shift key, then press the desired letter. This shows the diagnostic display panel, F1 through F5, the shift key, the clear data space, to write dim, enter 1 through 0. Clear delete key. To enter the delete command, just press key, then enter the clear key, then press the shift key, then press the clear delete key. The delete key will make the display with the computer take back to the being sequence we were in. The clear key will clearly display back on the step of the sequence you were in. Space key. To enter, just press. Enter key, just enter, just pressed. Alright, multiple fault display. The read of the diagnostic display panel is only capable of displaying one fault or status message at one time. The fault message with the highest level priority will be displayed. The lower level fault message will be stored. Highest level fault message is clear, but the next highest level fault message will be displayed and so down on the priority list until the all fault messages are arrested and clear. Example: load limit measured is on the display and the ground relay picks it up. The load limit message will be stored and ground relay will be disappeared. List of the faults that can be displayed with the response, but the crew should take. These messages are not listed in order of priority. Fault: won't load dirty air filters, press the reset key. Won't load hot diodes, press the response, press the reset key. Fault: shut down engine overspeed, press the reset key. This lists the messages that can be displayed, but the response crew should take. Alarm from other unit. No crew action or display will ready the status with the train line and de-energized. Can't battery jog, BKT wrong position. Throw the reverse handle, check it in the air. There's an air pressure call for maintenance. Message display ready. As normal startup, the message displays for a few seconds and the message stays on longer. If the message stays on longer, it indicates the cab controller is not functioning, call for maintenance. Message fault, message stored, report the maintenance and continue operation. Message: if self-loaded, check to see if the self-loaded switch with electrical lock over the operation cab at the normal position. Message isolated, place the engine control panel switch in the running position. Load limit dirty engine air filter, no crew action. Load limited hot engine, no crew action. Load limited low water pressure, no crew action. Load limited low oil pressure, no crew action. Load limited power circuit ground, no crew action. No limited electrical control problem, no crew action required. Load limit hot traction motor, no action required. Message: load limit PLS and notch to nut 7. Check the position of notch 7 switch. The switch should only be used for the lead unit when the throttle in its handle is in the 8 notch excessive wheel slip. Message: low limited cold engine, not crew, no crew action, no battery charge, isolated unit, no dynamic braking, automotive cut out, no action required. The normal is the motor is automatically cut out by the controls. No dynamic braking, main motor cut out. No crew actions required. The normal if the motor is cut out. No dynamic braking, electric control panel, isolate the unit. Dynamic brake provides standard standby power call maintenance. Rad fan problem may reduce load. No crew action. Ready. No crew action. After 30 minutes with no active view, the display will go blank. And if you wish to turn on the display, simply touch any key. Shut down low water pressure. Check the water level full temperature at below 145 degrees. Follow the railroad rules of the draining unit. Shut down low oil pressure. Check the oil level. Isolate the unit. Prepare to drain water if necessary. Shut down crank case overpressure. Isolate unit and prepare to drain the water necessary. Message wait. Response wait. Message won't crank, electrical control problem, call maintenance, won't load, wait until the accelerator, isolate the call maintenance, when it won't load, hot engine, isolate, won't load, power circuit, ground, isolate, won't load, power circuit problem, isolate, won't load, electrical control problem, isolate, message won't load, check BFCO and DIS, check the BFCO inside electrical locker and operator's cab, check the door for the high voltage compartment behind the operator's cab is closed. Message won't load, battery charging problem, check battery charger computer circuit breaker with the engine control panel if there's on the isolate the unit. Message routine maintenance D by the display, this diagnostic display, continue operating call maintenance with the GE representative to collect repair data. Your engine control switch. The engine control switch has 4 positions, which are start, isolate, run, and jog. The engine start switch is effective only with the electric control. Engine control switch is in the start position. The jog position is an open option, may not be appear to the unit when the engine is running and the engine control switch is in the start position. Engine is held at an idle. Power cannot be applied with the locomotive. The power plant is said to be offline. The engine is running with the engine control switch for the isolate position. The engine speed is held at the idle power and cannot be applied to the locomotive. The alarm bell will sound and faults occur that will shut down the engine down. Engine is idling. Locomotive to be operated with the engine control switch must be moved to the run position. When the engine position is shut down, locomotive is moved, and the battery propulsion engine control switch must be moved to the jog position. Alright, your multiple unit headlight setup switch. The multiple unit headlight setup switch has 5 position switches determined by the location of the locomotive and consists whether the front of the locomotive unit is leading or trail unit. Switch position is as follows. Single or middle unit, place the switch position of any locomotive operated singly or all units, especially leading of the trailing of the units with the locomotive consisting made of more than one unit. Short-headed leading unit, place the switch with the position leading unit is operated with the short hood forward. Long hood leading unit, place the switch in the position when the leading unit is operated with the long hood forward. Short hood trailing unit, place the switch in position when the final trailing locomotive unit is connected to the short hood trails. Long hooded trailing unit, place the switch with the position the final trailing movement in the unit is connected so that it has its long hood trails. Switch on the engine control panel. The following light switches are located with the engine control panel. Crosswalk, counter compartment, front number, rear number, front class, rear class. Following cutout switches are located in the engine control panel. Promoter number 1 through 6 and speed sensor, locked axle. Note the speed sensor cutout which switch only cuts out when the sensor or any traction motor that is cut out. The 2 motor speed sensors must operate before the unit is allowed to load. Battery charge receptacle. The battery charge receptacle is located in the engine control panel. The circuit breaker. The following power circuits are located at the bottom of the engine control panel. Engine strip heater, the helper strip heater, engine main cab heater, helper's main cab heater, air conditioner optional. Alright, operation hints for the Series 8. You should know that when you start up a cold diesel engine, the equipment blowers and the radiator fans will go to full speed. The reason to add some of the load of the warm up the diesel engine faster. Unit of the cooling water temperature gets up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The diesel engine will only be allowed to go into the notch 1 RPM power, even if the throttle handle is calling for the higher notch. The unit of the cooling water temperature gets up to 140 degrees. Diesel engine will only be allowed to go in the notch 3 RPM power, even if the throttle handle is calling for a higher notch. The equipment blower does not follow the diesel engine RPM. They both vary speeds according to the cooling requirements. The radiator fan varies in speed according to the cooling water temperature. After you start up the diesel engine, the battery charger will not start and they operate for a period of 60 seconds. That when you turn on the battery charger computer circuit breaker, the electronics check itself. The display panel will turn itself off after it says ready for 30-minute period. The temperature of the traction motor calculated built-in computer will use the input traction motor current, air temperature, etc. time, etc. The traction motor are too hot for the computer will automatically cut out the traction motor current. The units will not respond manually trained at sanding. The signal and locomotive speed of 7 miles per hour. Lead axle sand will function as before. The engine will not load if the door going to the electrical locket on the left side of the locomotive is open. The load meter will come up during the self-load box shop load box testing. There's no current with the traction motor armatures during this test. There's no transitions. The low idle, the battery charging voltage drops to low. The diesel engine speed will come up to the higher idle will the battery charging demand is on. Or the power automatically reduces on each of the unit and separately, and leakage ground exists with the power circuit, but the ground relay will not trip. The power will reduce the unit and ground until it dries up and goes away. The ground way it's worth, the relay will trip. After 3 trips in the 30-minute period with the relay, will no longer reset itself by the should be resisted for the shop electrician after clearing with the ground fault. The power will reduce the cooling water temperature starts to go to hot. The power will return to normal when water temperature is normal. The diesel engine will go to idle, unload and unload if the water temperature exceeds the top end of limit. The 16-cylinder diesel engine B39.8 and C39.8 speeds, the speed will automatically reduce from notch 8 to notch 7 at certain train speeds. This save fuel diesel engine speed will return to notch 8 when necessary. Diesel engine RPM will vary with the dynamic braking according with the braking handle position idle through 8. After prime start switch is turned, the start will be about 2 to 4 seconds delay with the diesel engine start to rotate. That a 30-second bell means the unit is offline. The diesel engine is still running. Continuous bell means the unit is offline and the diesel engine is shut down. The exciter and auxiliary generator are now combined with the auxiliary alternator built into the main alternator frame. The main alternator frame is used for the starting motor running of the battery. Each of the rectifier over the temperature switch has an operator-owned separate unit with the input. The computer, the manual request of the radiator fans can be set to full speed backwards 1 minute with reverse handle center with the below is debris off the inlet screen. The display panel of the engine control panel will provide the message for locomotive condition. Alright, starting the diesel engine. Note if the engine has been shut down for a considerable period of time, the cylinders should be cleared of fuel of water accumulation before starting the engine. Proceed as follows. Apply the engine bearing over device, back off the compression relief plugs on the left side of each of the cylinder. Rotate the engine at least 2 complete revolutions by using the engine bearing over device. C. Remove the bearing over device from the engine. Tighten all the compression relief plugs by cranking. Before cranking, note cover the bearing over feature must be securely mounted, otherwise engine cannot be cranked. See figure 50. Alright, 1. Check the emergency stop if the feature is nullified or throttle in the idle position. Throttle and handle in the idle position. Close the battery switch located behind the door of the engine control panel. Turn all circuit breakers to the bottom of the row of the engine control breaker panel. Turn on whichever the circuit breaker is on the top of the row are needed. Check the diagnostic display for all the faulty messages. It should read ready. Place the engine control switch into the start position. Go to the start station located at the engine and put the start with the switch of the prime position. Hold the unit and see the fuel in the sight glass. Turn the switch to the start position. Hold the engine start. Hold until the engine starts. Note, if proper lube and oil pressure does not build up within approximately 40 seconds, the governor will shut off the fuel and prevent engine from running. Stopping the diesel engine. Note, allow the engine sufficient time to idle to cool down. Place the engine control switch in the start position. Place the engine stop button on the engine control panel at start station. Open all circuit breakers, open the battery switch, and secure the locomotive. Monitoring. Close the generator field circuit breaker on the control console. Caution. To prevent equipment damage for the changing of the power to dynamic brake from the dynamic brake to the power pause. The send stick of the throttle handle idle and dynamic braking handle in the off position. 2. Move the reverse handle with the desired direction of movement. Advance the throttle handle with the notches idle handle up to notch 8. With each of the successive notches represents increase in the power locomotive traction effort. Dynamic braking. Make sure the throttle handle is in the idle position. Advance the brake handle as desired. Reverse locomotive. Bring the locomotive to the full stop. Move the reverse handle to the opposite direction. Release the brake handles. Advance the throttle. Operating as the lead unit. Test the air breakers in accordance with the railroad rules. Close the generator field. Dynamic braking control engine running circuit breakers on the operating console. Place the multiple unit headlight switch in the proper position. Move the reverse handle in the desired direction. Operate the locomotive in accordance with railroad operating procedure. Operating as a trailer unit, air equipment setup with multiple, make a full service application automatic brake valve handle. 2. Make the brake valve cut out with a double handle clock out into the out position. Move the automatic brake valve handle in the off position. Move the handle when the place the input handle in the release position. Multiple unit cutout cock for the out position. The electrical setup, move the reverse handle to the off position, remove the handle, operated generator field, dynamic braking control, engine control circuit for the operator console, leave all circuit breakers closed, portion of the bottom row of the engine control panel, the multiple unit headlight set up at the proper position, headline, head hauling dead end train, place the independent brake valve handle in the release position, automatic brake valve handle in the on position, directly press the brake valve and cut out cock, move the out position, move the multiple unit cut out cock, double ported cut out cock handle in the in or open position. Caution, to avoid wheel flat spots, drain the main reserve down to 40 psi below the brake pipe pressure, reducing on the train which the locomotive will be coupled. Open the dead engine cock and see figure 26. Alright, this has been Series 8 Transportation System Business and Operations, Erie, Pennsylvania, 16531, General Electricity. And this was your Operations Series 8 handbook.